Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. 14th of May, tomorrow, big match against Cagliari. Of course, we're going to preview that and the latest Inter news. You guys make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's go with the channel intro. Before we get into the lineups, and let's start off with something funny. Massimiliano Allegri. This guy, if you guys remember, he got sent off in the Coppa Italia final, which, by the way, if you didn't realize, Inter won. He was sent off, and then after the match, he moaned about, someone from Inter kicked me. Oh, I don't know who it was. But this guy forgot that we're living in the 21st centuries. Cameras are everywhere. We can't miss anything. You got caught in 4K. Did you see that, guys? Did you see that? Barely a brush. The Inter assistant coach barely brushed past him, and this guy, absolute drama queen, and that's what he got sent off for. But clearly he was rattled about just being on the losing side of things, and he couldn't take it. Ridiculous. Clearly nothing happened right there. But yeah, that's the first that was the funny side of the news covered off. Actually, some of the news afterwards are still funny, but not as funny as for Inter fans, probably, because these two guys, especially one of them, Dalbert, we're probably going to face them in the next match. Dalbertino, the guy who still gives us nightmare from that Inter-Empoli match that, secured Inter's qualification to Champions League. But Dalbert's performance, Sabo's cameo in that match was absolute nightmare. Still gives me nightmares. One of the worst signings of this past decade for Inter. And he's on loan at at Cagliari right now, and they have an option to buy for 7 million euros, which, surprise, it looks like they won't be taking that option. As reported there, translated by Sempre Inter from Corriere dello Sport, Inter put a 7 million price tag on Dalbert, but Cagliari are not willing to pay such a high fee for the defender. The issue is that Dalbert, shock, has not shown enough quality on the pitch for the Rossoblù to accept paying that fee for him. They're even less likely to pay what Inter won if they get relegated to Serie B in the final 2 games, which is a very real possibility. And of course, we could be the reason. We could really sanction their entry into Serie B against them. So on one side, we could, if they do stay up, we have that hope, but there is no hope, guys. When we send these players out on loan with option to buy, especially to these teams like Cagliari, the option to buy is just a joke. They're not taking the option to buy. Even if Dalbert scored 10 goals and 10 assists, they wouldn't have taken the option to buy. It is what it is. So we just have to take an L on that. He's got 1 year remaining on his contract after the season, so we'll just have to hope someone can just muster up any little fee and just take him off our hands. The other guy that I want to talk about, this one is quite funny because I don't have any negative, memories related to Valentino Lazaro. This guy is, as we call him on this channel, the drip lord Lazaro. We sent him out on loan to Benfica in Portugal. Initially, my boy Rabona TV, Adrian, was telling me he was doing well at Benfica initially. But as his agent has admitted, he will leave Benfica. He can't always be out on loan, but no one wants to sign this guy permanently. As reported in the Austrian media, La Ola, via FC Inter News, the player is likely to leave Benfica at the end of the season rather than renew his loan or try to sign a permanent deal with the Portuguese side. The agent of the player has added the player cannot spend his entire career on loan at other clubs, suggesting Inter must find someone to buy the Austrian winger outright. And I mean, I agree with him, but how can Inter find someone if no one's interested? Lazaro made 18 appearances for Benfica, but only 34% of those have been from the start. He has not scored and has managed 2 assists. His contract doesn't expire for another 2 years. Inter wants to sell him for a fee. Someone, please just pop up. I don't know, maybe back to the Bundesliga. Or maybe he could even be reintegrated into the side. We've never actually got to see if this guy is good or not. He just never seems to have given a chance, but there must be a reason he doesn't get any playing time at Benfica. His previous loan stints, he just hasn't got any playing time when he went back to Bundesliga Mönchengladbach. So yeah, there must be a reason, but something needs to be sorted out when it comes to Valentino Lazaro. Back on the topic, staying on the topic actually, wing backs. There's a lot of wing back talk today in this news episode. Ivan Perisic, my boy, has caused a lot of stir. Of course, you guys know I already made a video on my channel. Check it out if you haven't. Straight after the day after Perisic made his comments regarding Inter, not offering him the right deal, or just not being happy with how he's being treated by Inter's management. And I said, I think in the end, this is my opinion, by the way, guys, it could be completely wrong, that it will be done in the end. And then yesterday, after I made that video, so much stuff has come out about Perisic. There was talk of Chelsea. Sport media in Italy even said that he already has an agreement with Chelsea, and all that needs to be is a medical, which was, crazy, just out of the blue. And then more reports today and yesterday of Juventus being seriously interested in him, and then even reports of AC Milan. There's even talk of Tottenham, which I wouldn't be surprised about. The Premier League ones, I wouldn't be surprised at all. There's also a rumor about Newcastle putting a firm 6.57 million net offer salary to him, which is around about, actually more than what he wants. That's what Premier League teams can do. But he's always wanted a Premier League stint in his career, and I tweeted this out yesterday. And this is a reason, actually. There was one of the reasons why Inter fans weren't so fond of Perisic over the years is that he has made it known that, especially when Inter were in the Bante era or not that good, that he kind of wanted an experience in the Premier League. There was one time Arsenal came calling for him in January. He put a transfer request in. People forget this, and from that point, I started to dislike him in that period of his career at Inter, because once you put a transfer request, you're not committed to the club. But he stayed. Spalletti managed to persuade him to stay, and there was only a loan offer from Arsenal, so it didn't help Inter in any way. Then Mourinho came calling that summer, if you remember. Mourinho wanted him at United, all that kind of stuff. We wanted like 40 plus million. Didn't end up happening, but again, he wanted to leave. So I think he's always wanted that Premier League experience, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going to the Premier League. But again, I reiterate, I think he will end up signing. I think he'll just have to take a little bit of a sacrifice on what he wants and what Inter, what are offering. It looks like Inter are not really going to move too much in from their offer. So here, Alfredo Padula talked that Inter's. First, he says there's no agreement. So all that news that you've been hearing about Chelsea having already an agreement, Juventus, at the moment, that's all fake news for now. Of course, teams are going to be interested in him. This guy is a good player. He's been having his best season of his career. But he's also said that Inter have not offered him a low salary. And this is what I said, this 4.5 million. Some people even reported that they offered 3. That's not true. It's 4.5 million per season. There's bonuses included in that. But there will be a new meeting, and the Croatian has no agreement with anyone. First, he will talk to Inter. So Inter is his priority. Then he will decide. As we know, he expressed some anger at the club, who had not offered him a contract, which, they have offered him, but it's just not the terms that he demands. It's believed that he wants 6 million, as I said, for 2 years. Inter have only offered 4.5. But I think, as I keep saying, I think they will probably find a middle ground between the 6 that he wants, 4.5 Inter wants to give him. Maybe the bonuses will get it to that stage, but Inter not going to push themselves too far. And I think that's right, because that's why we signed Gosens. If Perisic goes, Gosens is there. We'll have to sign a backup to Gosens in that case. But if he does go, as I said, I think it would be Premier League. I don't see Juventus or AC Milan being attractive propositions for him. Hope that clears it up, and let's not panic, guys. Calma. I told you guys, every time I see a rumor come out, people start panicking, people start getting irate with the player before the decision's even made. So calma, guys, calma. Now let's finish off the video with the probable lineups. Usual, of course, you guys know 3-5-2 till the end, till death. It looks like there's going to be 3 changes though made by Inzaghi for this massive match away at Cagliari. Let's not forget, this is away at Cagliari. Cagliari that are in the relegation battle, and they can save themselves with a win. So 7:45 UK time, 8:45 Italian kickoff time, Sunday. Handanovic in goal, of course. Skriniar. De Vrij keeps his place after a good performance in the cup final. Bastoni looks like he will be back. He was supposed to be starting the Coppa Italia final, but Inzaghi decided not to risk him, and I think obviously that paid off in the end. Brozovic, Barella, Chala, no arguments in that midfield as usual. Dumfries returns to starting. I think we've seen that if Darmian does start one game, it usually means that Dumfries starts the next one, and I think it makes complete sense. We need to be attacking them. I think they will leave some space, Cagliari. I know Cagliari will be defending a lot, but they need to go for the win, Cagliari. So that's the only way they can stay safe. A draw is not good enough for them. They have to try to get a win if they really want to save themselves. So the Dumfries, Perisic, both of them need to be ready for the spaces that Cagliari will allow them. Perisic is starting again. No Gosens. Up front, Lautaro, of course, now is the certain starter, and looks like it could be Correa starting next to him. And we saw once again after Correa came on in the cup final. Again, not anything above a 6 out of 10 performance, but the team just plays better, flows better when Correa is playing there. So I'm happy that Correa is starting, not Dzeko Martinez. Looks like Vecino is the only one out at the moment with an injury. Everyone else is available. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the best team that we can go for, and I completely agree if Inzaghi goes for this. Cagliari, on the other hand, we know Cragno really turns up against us a lot of the time, so hoping he doesn't have one of those Manuel Neuer type performances. The defense is definitely one of their weak points, so we need to be taking advantage of that. They actually have a new coach at the moment, Alessandro Agostini, who was the youth team coach, was promoted after Mazzari got sacked just a couple of matches ago. They haven't really had that new manager bounce, so hopefully they don't get it in this match. The midfield, nothing impressive. Nandes is not going to be playing. Liko Giannis is back in the team under this new coach. Dalbert has been relegated to the bench again. Bellanova, this is a guy to watch out for on the right wing. They don't have a picture for him, but he's a very pacey, tricky wing back. Young Italian player. Has been somewhat impressive this season, and he's even linked with Juventus. So yeah, one definitely to watch out for. And obviously João Pedro, their main guy, the guy hopefully he stays in Serie A if they get relegated, but the way he's the captain, he might be one of those guys that stays even if they go down. But I would like to see João Pedro staying in the Serie A. He's a quality player. And Pavoletti next to him, the big target man, unless Keita Balde plays and scores against us like he did against us for Sampdoria last year. Hopefully not. But yeah, overall, I think, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And apparently I read only 400 Inter tickets have been given for the away end. So there's not going to be much of an Inter fan presence there. So the players are really going to have to just fight against the crowd and the atmosphere, which can be very loud and, difficult in Cagliari. But I have faith in these guys to pull it through. There might be a little bit of tiredness from the Coppa Italia. Let's not forget, went to extra time. Barella played the full 120 minutes. A lot of these players have been playing a lot of minutes anyway this season. So there could be a bit of tiredness in the legs, but there should be that push from, just this fresh Coppa Italia win. The players went to sleep very late. They came back to Milan at 4 a.m. in the morning. I read, of course, a few of them were drinking, smoking up. So their bodies are probably not in the peak athletic conditions. But yeah, in terms of, morale, they should be right up there at the moment. So hopefully that takes us through. No banana peel, please, Cagliari. And of course, eyes on the Milan-Atalanta game. Gasperini, please, I'm begging you. I'm not going to hype up any of the players. I said I'm not hyping up Muriel, Zapata, any of those boys. Zip from me. I just gotta hope they come through for us. Weirder things have happened in football. Atalanta are better away than they are at home, so that actually gives me a little bit of hope. I don't have any hope for Sassuolo on the last match day, so if it's going to happen, it's going to happen tomorrow against Atalanta. Let's see what happens. You guys let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Of course, comment down below your thoughts on the predicted lineups, Perisic situation, and everything else that I talked about in this video. I'll see you for the post-match reaction tomorrow. Ciao ragazzi, always Forza Inter. Ciao.